I don't usually do videos where I talk about West Ham tactics, but given how West Ham played against Wolves in the game last Sunday, I wanted to talk a little bit more about my own observations and why I think Moyes made certain changes that worked to West Ham's benefit. It was the best that West Ham had played in quite some time. I saw a lot of positives in the performance, and ultimately we got the win. As I mentioned in the aftermath, it was a 6-pointer game. We had to get a win in order to still continue our fight for European football and to give us some breathing space over Wolves. Now, what I noticed in this game was a similar kind of system to what West Ham was playing at the start of the season and revitalising said system. Everybody in the team was able to cooperate, interchange, and be interdependent within the game. And let me put that into layman terms as to what I mean. The defensive unit was working in tandem with the midfield, and everyone in the midfield had different roles. Players were then able to move more, safe in the mind that they were always covered and always had someone to fall back on. In the team, it looked like a wing-back system was being used, with Johnson and Fornals going as wing-backs. And in the midfield, it looked like Rice, Souček, and Lanzini would feed off of Fornals in turn. Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio will be helping each other out as well. This adds to the interdependence. So players are helping each other out while working the ball up the field. I picked some key moments in the game as to what I saw and some major talking points to explain my point a lot more. But the tactics all helped everybody to work together better and to be a tighter unit. On the 35th minute, Mikel Antonio showed a glimpse of being a left winger rather than as a striker. And Antonio actually played more of a winger role in this game, in my opinion. This had two major benefits. Firstly, he creates space for himself and he's not always going to be the last man. And two, 3 players were allowed to get into the box while Antonio prepared the cross. Bowen, Souček and Johnson were in there. Wolves assumed at that point that the cross was going to come into Souček. And this demonstrates how Souček can be a threat off the ball. Given his height and physical presence, the Wolves defenders' natural instinct was to lock on to Souček. Saiss was the player who marked him. Antonio instead cuts to Lanzini, who could still cross at this point from outside the area. While Antonio passes that, it gives Wolves an opportunity to close in on the 3 players in the box. All 3 West Ham players are then marked, so passing it would not make sense in risk of being dispossessed. Lanzini shoots and is denied by Jose Sarr. It's not the right end result, and it was quite opportunistic from Lanzini, shall we say, but it showed good connectivity and good decision-making by Mikel Antonio. He was able to consider his options before he put the ball in, and had around 2 seconds to make that decision. He thought, okay, maybe my teammates are going to have the ball cleared, so Lanzini's there. I cut it across the goal. It gives Lanzini a chance to get some power on the ball and try and curl it, which he did. 2 minutes later, a similar chance occurred. Fornals was playing as a left wing back, and this actually was very promising because he was able to help out Aaron Cresswell. Cresswell was able to help Kurt Zouma defend as a result. Fornals passes the ball diagonally to Declan Rice, and Wolves immediately attempt to close down Rice. So, he shoots the ball. Wolves are trying to apply the pressure, but West Ham's 1 step ahead, and that's why the cooperation is important. Everybody knows what to do prior to the ball being moved, and there's always something to fall back on. So it's a combination of cooperating and having plan B. On the 42nd minute, there is a chance that does go amiss, but the work rate for this and the build-up play need a lot of talking about. And this is a big talking point in the game. There's good play between Bowen and Rice, and Rice feeds the ball to Lanzini. Lanzini and Souček worked off of each other in terms of the passing, and this is a prime example, so let me explain it. Lanzini has a direct pass to Souček, who is advancing into the box. And that was a link like they had all game with the connectivity. Souček is closed down in the box and is forced to pass the ball away. He can't take the shot. Thankfully, Antonio is there. 5 Wolves players, hesitantly and somewhat in a defensive attempt, go towards the goal line. This has a bit of a consequence, in a way, because they're assuming that they're going to have to block a potential shot. But Souček falls and Lanzini misses the target. The Wolves players consequently played everyone onside without realising what they were doing. So on second glance, Antonio could have crossed that deeper for Ben Johnson, who was actually open on the right-hand side of the penalty box. And Johnson could have taken the shot. That would have been a better decision, but it still didn't do any harm. There was pressure and threat in that moment. In stoppage time, defensive work showed. Wolves were close to the box with the ball, and the player ratio for West Ham to Wolves players is around 2-1. There are 2 West Ham players on every Wolves player that's in that box. Rice immediately darts towards the player to apply the pressure. It's not dealt with properly, and the ball lands awkwardly in the area. A shot from Wang Hee-chan goes off target, but at least West Ham players helping each other out. There's no last man. There's no last man doing the responsibility of defending. One example of when that did happen was in the 3-2 loss to Southampton, when Diop failed to make a tackle and Craig Dawson had to bring down Brozier, I believe it was, and ended up conceding a penalty. There was no last man in this game. Every player helped each other out and avoided the mistakes or leaving anyone out in the cold. Let's talk second half, because this is when the goal happens. But prior to that, Wolves had an attack on 51 minutes. Dawson, Zuma, Cresswell are forming a 3-man defensive line, and they keep it straight and tight-knit as Wolves advances into the box. Souček and Lanzini get into the box to recover the ball if need be. Souček's there to head it. Lanzini can be there to kick it away or to dribble it out to Fornals or play it directly to Rice. Playing directly to Rice may not have been a sensible idea because of 2 other Wolves players on the edge of the area. So Souček may have been called upon to head that away or to kick it away. That said, Cresswell was able to get into that defensive line because Fornals was helping him out. The goal came on 58 minutes. Very quick move from a throw-in. Pretty much like one-touch football. There was a large gap in the box which was quickly closed up. The Wolves defenders noticed that, and although they did act on it, Antonio's pass for the first time forced 2 players to go on to him and to intercept the ball. What happens as a result? Souček's left on his own to tap the ball in. It's a bad decision and a bad error. Souček had the time to tap it in and did so very tamely. And it gives West Ham a 1-0 lead. And 2 minutes later, Fabio Silva has a chance. Johnson's unable to intercept a pass, so Souček locks on to a player that's in the box. The ball finds Fabio Silva, and he's forced to put it wide because Kurt Zouma is committing to a tackle. Zouma begins to apply that pressure before Silva even touches the ball. Silva hasn't really got any room to pass. He doesn't have anyone else open in the box. And because of that, Zouma's able to make the tackle before Silva touches, and it throws Silva off guard completely. The 62nd minute showed a classic example of reliance on each other. Silva's in the box, and he completes a successful dribble past 3 players. And the West Ham of recent has been dribbled past and not been able to avoid conceding the goal. Not this time, though, thankfully. Dawson doesn't get the ball and the ball goes past him. But that doesn't worry Dawson because he knows that Kurt Zuma's at least behind him. And Cresswell even can cover as well. Whether if Fabio Silva takes the shot, Zuma can block. If he passes, Cresswell will be there to clear the ball away. Zuma effectively makes a solid block of the ball, and it's cleared away from Silva and the box. Although Wolves applied that pressure and did attack in numbers often at multiple West Ham players, the difference was the midfield and the defensive unit. West Ham didn't all lock onto one player when that player had the ball. They did so in quite a commonsensical way, keeping a straight defensive line and always having somebody to help out if need be. The midfield worked well off of each other. Souček was encouraged to go forward more because Lanzini was able to pass. Lanzini was able to run with the ball in the heart of the midfield. Souček made some good runs into the box, but his defensive work and off-the-ball work were also just as effective. I feel that Souček is one of the best players in the league when it comes to work off the ball because he threatens teams to cause a distraction. And it's where teams have gone wrong in the past by marking him, and it causes another man to be left open. Zuma and Dawson formed a good centre-back duo. Cresswell was encouraged to defend more. Ben Johnson was encouraged to go forward more. And Fornals was able to dribble the ball so that Cresswell didn't have to. So everyone, like I say, interdependent. And that's the key word, interdependent. Everybody can help each other out with no real problems or fears of anything consequential happening. It was a good tactical setup from David Moyes. He made good changes, positive changes, and it worked well for the whole team. It's one of our best performances in recent weeks. We fully deserved the win. If we keep playing like this, I don't know where it'll take us. But there was more to it than just defending and good midfield. You have to look at the psychological part of the game and the intelligence used behind the players to understand why certain things came to be. Thank you very much for watching Anvil's Thoughts. If you like that video, hit the like button and don't forget to sub for more content. Take care, everybody, and I will see you all soon.